I'm letting your light shine. I'm letting your love work through me. In every moment, breathe in this moment. You came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be still, to know. You came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be still. We're the ones standing in the sky. We take it upon our own allies. For all of the rules we abide by. For us to say our final goodbyes. We are the kingdom in the air. 'Cause all of the tones we have declared. The minds of the leaders are elsewhere. I ask you, does this sound unfair? Raise a storm and go where we have never gone before. We have sworn to mend the bond that we have torn. Raise a storm and go where we have never been before. We have sworn to mend we have torn.
Alright, boys and girls, and whoever else is here. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna times two speed this because I want to make this quick because past this live stream, I really don't care about this drama anymore. So how you guys doing? What you guys been up to? Just want to get an idea what's going on with you guys. Honestly, to be honest, I didn't expect him to respond to his main channel. Like, I didn't expect... I thought he would do it on his second channel, but he responded on his main channel. Is this gonna be one of those responses where they pause the video every second just to say, I'm right, you're wrong, la 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 la? You and Technical would fight John Swan and Augie in Smash Doubles. We would destroy him, dude. It wouldn't be close. He'd get bodied. Just took a ride on a sewer slide. Alright. So he made this video earlier today. I mean, he did say he would respond to my video, so I mean, I'm not surprised. The funny thing is he accuses me of like not accuses me. He just I guess accuse. He says like, "Oh, he I said he was arguing in bad faith and being dishonest, but he's being dishonest to me, to him, uh that I'm being dishonest to John Swan." And the title of the video is literally, or at least arguing in bad faith. The title is literally a Technicals fanboy tried to expose me. Nah, you're the worst doubles teammate of all time. Yo, what up, Shy Guy Mask? Man. Yeah, I suck at doubles. Oh my god. But yeah. Hey, what up, Westballs? Yeah, Technicals fanboy. I'm literally a hack stan. Like, you guys know this. I'm not even a tech fanboy, I'm a hack stan. But yeah. If you're gonna accuse me of arguing in bad faith, don't do this. Don't do that. Now, to be fair, I think there were some parts of the video, like my beginning and the end, specifically the beginning, that I think he talks about that was bad faith or dishonest or whatever. And I think that's kind of fair, but the thing is, it's irrelevant to my criticism of him anyways, and it was mainly a joke, and he didn't even play the... You know what, let's start the video. Because he's talks about it at the beginning.
Originally, I wasn't even going to respond to this video properly, but given it's amassed quite a considerable view count and it's being posted as a response anytime someone mentions my video, I think it's about time I say something. I never intended to make a video on this, because honestly, I feel kind of bad. In the past, when people have responded to my work in this way, they usually make at least one good point that I have to take on the shoulder. But this video just makes no good points at all. Like, I genuinely question the
It makes no good points. You know what, let me slow this down. Let's actually go point by point. Let's actually, like, slow down, do this properly. I want to just do this in, like, 2 minutes and just be done with it, but... You know what? Okay. So I made no good points at all. I missed every shot. Every shot I missed. None. I lost. We're within one half. Not even a half of a minute in, and he's already said I've lost.
on the shoulder. But this video just makes no good points at all. Like,
Within half 30 seconds in and I'm already destroyed. Now let's do 1.5.
I genuinely question the cognitive abilities of the people that watched this video and thought it was good or said anything valid. You may think I'm being unnecessarily
Yeah, remember when no, let me
mean
play
here,
this.
but I'm just matching the energy of the creator.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about John Swan's response to technicals and why it sucks.
About a week ago, Smash commentator The Franchise dropped a response to my technicals video. From the very beginning, it's pretty clear that he's not even going to try and be charitable. He clearly does not like me, and even insults you,
No,
the
I
audience
don't
watching,
like
which
you.
I thought was an interesting move.
The average IQ of a John Swan fan is between 1 and 24.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it, but I think it's important to bring it up because of something The Franchise discusses himself, that being good faith.
There are many people in the commentary community that I can accept disagreement with because they're honest and argue in good faith. However, John is not one of those people.
When I made my video on technical
Okay, so you're gonna complain about me saying that you don't argue in good faith when you literally saying, oh, like you're saying, oh, I insulted your fans or your viewers or whatever, and you literally said I question the cognitive abilities of the people who watch my video and agree with it. Alright, let's continue.
I established from the get-go that I'm not just some blind hater and that I do respect a lot of his other work.
Okay, so why didn't you message him before making this video? He's already trying so hard to overanalyze your speech pattern to seem deep. That's cringe. Yeah, like literally, he didn't message technicals before making this video, and that's important when it comes to some of his later points when he says, "Oh, I didn't have the information at the time." Because he released it afterwards, but you could have gone to him before making this video. So I don't really buy I'm doing this because, like, I actually respect technicals. I like him. What does he say?
Community that I can accept disagreement with because they're honest and argue in good faith. However, John is not one of those people.
When I made my video on technicals, I established from the get-go that I'm not just some blind hater and that I do respect a lot of his other work. I did commissions for the guy, for goodness sake. I wouldn't do that if I didn't like him. I gave him credit and cut him slack, even in places where I didn't have to. And I concluded the video with an appeal and a hope that he would do better.
Or you could have just asked him privately before making a video like this. Because I don't know.
The intro for his fantastic
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
video on the Sky House, I always considered his work to be one of the best. His videos were always incredibly engaging. He always seemed super level-headed and sensible. Look, I understand that slip-ups could potentially happen. I get it. He was younger back then and he may not make the right call. I would be okay with him if he came out
I didn't want to make this video. Every YouTuber who wanted to do this video. Yeah, like as I said before, I didn't expect him to reply on his main. You literally lied about your video trying to seem better? What do you mean? Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect him to respond on his main channel. I thought he would do it on... because he has a... hold on. He has a second channel here. I thought this is where he would put the response. Like, this is where I thought he would put the response. I didn't think he would dress up in his whole detective skit and actually address me seriously like this. So, I mean, okay. Oh, put the video in, like, full screen or theater mode? Like this or this? Okay. Uh, I'm gonna just leave it like this for now. But yeah, I thought he would respond here. Oh, full screen. All right. But yeah, I thought he would respond on his second channel and not on main.
And admitted that he could have taken more action at the time. Tech, I don't hate you, man. I hope you'll change for the better. I think he's been extremely disingenuous, particularly since the video's release, but I did and will still make an attempt to be charitable where I reasonably can. However,
Which is... which is why you messaged him before you made this video, right? An idiot. Like, it's clearly... Like, this is clearly bad faith. Otherwise, you would have at least tried to get his perspective, his side of the story, before making a piece like this, or your original piece. But you didn't do that. That's why I think this is disingenuous. Because you made this as you made your original video as a hit piece, dude.
the franchise throws this entire principle completely out the window and instead presents my arguments in the worst possible light. His entire video is regrettably filled with misrepresentation, misinformation, and a severe lack of self-awareness.
That's ironic.
Also does this weird thing where he plays clips that I already included in my video and implies that I cut context or didn't represent things correctly. Like he did.
No, I wasn't doing that. I was doing that to provide context for when I said something. Like when I say, oh, this is something Zero said, I then played the clip of Zero saying it because I want to include the context.
This several times. He pulled up a clip that I had already used and said or implied that I misrepresented stuff. How on earth could I misrepresent something when I let the clip play out? What he calls misrepresentation is actually just called having a different opinion, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
John's whole argument hinges on broken evidence. Despite being so confident in his claim that Zero asked Katie for the images, he has nothing to back it up besides Katie's word and Zero's confession.
Come on, dude. Not even 2 minutes in? Guys, John has nothing to back this up besides a confession. We got him, boys. And yes, he is actually going to be making all the arguments you think he is.
Katie was unable to provide any screenshots that could substantiate her claims, so her testimony alone is not hard proof of anything.
When judging allegations like this, I think it's important to look at how solid the two-party stories really are. Besides the Ice Cube claim, Katie's story lines up perfectly with the screenshots she provides, and even in the screenshots, there are certain and definite implications that sexual conversations were happening.
I love how you react so funny to things. Mad adorable. It's like when you rub a cat's belly, and then they just roll around.
You will not rub my belly.
Yeah, why only do that? I promise I'll be normal. If every 2 weeks we could do something like that, or in that day, I could go all in. As long as you promised me that those days, you are all mine.
Her twitlonger was handled with grace, and the grooming in the messages is undeniable and completely gross. I have very little reason to doubt the rest of her story because everything else she provided backs up her claim, and her
Alright, so let me get this straight. You think, like, this is normally reasonable. I think this is a reasonable take to say, oh, well, she hasn't lied. Like, she's telling the truth so far. Even though she hasn't provided proof for what she's saying now, I still believe it. I think that's fair. But to act like it's definitive proof that anything happened, like, there's no evidence. It's literally just her word. And an example of, and you could say, oh, well, why would she tell the truth up until then? Like, she would tell the truth about the messages and provide evidence for that. But then, when it came to the Ice Cube stuff, when she doesn't have the evidence, why would she just lie about that? She's told the truth thus far. But there have been cases, like with IBDW, and nothing against IBDW, he is a victim of abuse, but where he lied about his story to make it sound worse, to kind of, because I think to like garner sympathy because he didn't think it was bad enough and people would sympathize with him, which is a big problem that, you know, we need to actually, when people are victims, that we need to actually like believe them. But maybe you should I've already done that like 8 million times. Okay, I'll say it for the 8 million and first time. I don't agree with Zero. Alright? I literally said it in my video. I've said it across my channel. And people just want to ignore that. It's like, I think what he's done is genuinely reprehensible. He should be banned. I just don't think that him making content separate from our community makes him a danger to children. I just don't think modern day, present day 2022, that him making content away from our community makes him a danger to anybody. That's just my opinion. Yeah, as I was saying, just because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even need to ask you about Zero to know your opinion on it. What did IBDW do? It was something with one of his parents where one of his parents, I don't know if it was sexually, physically, but there was abuse going on, and it was legitimate. But he did, when he was telling the story to people, apparently, like, I think in his own testimony. Let me pull this up, so I don't want to misrepresent what he's doing. I don't want to misrepresent this. Hold on, guys. Twitter advanced search, man. So useful. I think it came out like around the July period that year. Yeah, coming to terms with myself in my own story. Okay, so yeah, so hold on, let me actually pull this up because this is IBDW's Twitter longer. Oh, said I lied about having sex because I thought it would make it seem more in my favor, etc. Wait, did he actually? Hold up. You want Zero having a platform? I don't really listen, like if YouTube bans him, I'm fine with it, but if he doesn't, then it's like, I mean, I don't listen, he's not in our community anymore. Who is it? So yeah, there is possibility that a victim is telling the truth until like a certain key aspect of their story. And this has been proven by other cases. And it's entirely possible because remember, Katie spoke to Jisoo before she posted her allegations. Do you not maybe, and we all know how manipulative and terrible Jisoo is. We agree on that, John. So, is it not possible that maybe Jisoo, maybe twisted her story to, make it sound worse about the ice cube and that kind of stuff when in reality all they had was just the messages? I don't know. It's just, I don't see Katie's word as definitive proof. If that's enough for you, then that's enough for you, but that's your opinion. It's literally just your opinion, dude.
Reason for not having screenshots of the ice cube incident makes a ton of sense when you look at the full picture.
The screenshots I have were actually when I was so starstruck that what I thought was happening to me was special, so I kept them for posterity.
I'm all for waiting to gather enough evidence before making a judgment, but everything she gave us, along with Zero's eventual confession, was more than enough for me.
Yeah, for you. And that's fine. If you, like I said this in the video, I'm not arguing with your personal opinion on Zero. I'm arguing with the way that you misrepresented Technical's arguments. Which makes I literally said this in my video, it makes his position sound ludicrous when it really isn't. Like, all Tech is saying is that, hey, I don't think this guy's a current danger to children. That's literally all he's saying. Not what he did wasn't that bad or he's making excuses for him. He's saying, I just don't think he's a current danger. And that if he wants to go back to making content, he's not against the idea. I don't know, what do you guys think? Practically, even though he's... Listen, I don't know anything about the Zaptai incident, and it really doesn't matter. What matters here is just the case at hand. Like, I know, like, people want to compare and contrast, like, each side's ethics when it came to other cases, but at the end of the day, I really don't care. Because this whole thing is just agree to disagree. It shouldn't have gotten to this point. It really shouldn't have gotten to this point. First time. What up, crows? Yeah, it's just like like my issue is that you said, okay, the messages combined, Katie's story combined with Zero's confession is enough for me. Okay, that's enough for you. I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. But that's not the only side of the coin. I think there's legitimate reason to cast doubt on Zero's confession, and I personally just don't think that a person's testimony is definitive proof of anything. All right, let's continue.
But apparently, not enough for the franchise.
Technicals is claiming that Zero was not of sound mind when giving his confession, so it's entirely possible that he admitted to things that he hadn't done. This is corroborated by the fact that Zero also admitted guilt to another situation where he was innocent. Keep in mind that the Laura situation was not in contention until Zero brought it up in his confession.
This is a part of the video where the franchise is so incredibly biased that his ability to logically reason just disappears. He sees the twitmonger as a sabotage attempt and will not entertain any other perspective whatsoever. So let's do what he...
No, because I'm trying to prove that it's a possibility. I'm not trying to entertain any other idea. I'm trying to prove that this is a possibility that exists. That it's possible that it's a sabotage suicide note. And that's the point. Now, obviously, even if it was that, number one, the messages alone are repulsive enough for him to be banned, which is why he is, and why he should be condemned. And number two, even if it is a suicide note and not indicative of anything, that still doesn't make him innocent of the crime. It just means that there's no definitive proof. As someone who is a victim of false allegations, it's super easy to give up and just say literally, yeah. Especially under the extreme pressure from Jisoo's false allegations, Leffen's false allegations. Like, I'm not saying, oh, this is objective fact. I'm saying this is a possibility, so I don't think it's fair to assert that you're making an objective, like, assertion that what occurred, because there's no definitive proof. But if you want to believe it, that's your opinion, but stop acting like what you're saying is objectively 100% correct. And I said this in my video, that if I'm not against your opinion that Zero should be deplatformed. Or at least that's not what I'm arguing against. What I'm arguing against is that you're misrepresenting our side of the argument, which makes us sound like idiots defending a pedophile, when that's not what we're doing. We're only defending... at least me, I'm not going to speak for Tech, but at least for me, I'm only defending Zero where I think it's warranted. From Leffen and Jisoo's false allegations, from the commentary community, and how they've basically tried to assert that Zero asking... And first of all, in Zero's confession, it's so vague. Hold up, let me open this up. Like, it's so vague. He doesn't... All he says is, like, oh, the ice cube thing is true in general. He says... Alright. Hold up. Oh, I can't. Okay, so he says, Katie, the screenshot, you guys were wondering about the ice cube thing. It's true, the claim that Katie makes are general and true. There are no graphic pictures of anything of the sort, but it's unforgivable regardless. I just want to be clear about it here. Like, do you realize how vague that is? Yes, it could have the interpretation of him defending himself that there were no pictures. Like, what is, there are no graphic pictures of anything of the sort? What does that mean? Does that mean no pictures were exchanged? Like, what you guys are assuming it means? And in that case, he's defending himself? Or does that just mean there's no evidence of it, and he's just saying there's no evidence that exists, but it happened regardless? And then what is... The screenshot you guys were wondering about the ice cube thing, it's true. The claims that Katie makes in general are true. Like, he's not explicitly saying, oh, I asked her for the pictures. He's just saying, oh, this claim is true. And then let's move.
He refuses to do, and look at it another way. It is human nature to defend yourself on as many things as possible, even when you're backed into a corner. In the beginning of Zero's Twit longer, he says that he wants people to stop defending him, and then he continues to defend himself in other sections.
Okay,
He's
hold on, let me
clearly trying to soften the blow as much as possible. So let's answer the franchise's question.
He wasn't responding to an allegation when he wrote that bit, so why would he bring it up if he wasn't trying to sabotage himself as he claims?
He actually doesn't admit guilt in the Laura situation. He's preemptively...
Alright. What does it say? It says, but it doesn't matter nor make it better. He's literally just taking the blame, taking the fall for something he was innocent of. When he says this, but it doesn't matter nor make it better. Jesus Christ. Like, and oh my God. That's only the first half of it, right? The second half of it, let me explain this in simplest terms for you guys. Zero accused himself of an allegation. Then defends him, and apparently that's softening the blow. According to John, he accuses himself of doing something, he defends himself from it, and that's somehow softening the blow. Because in my opinion, the very act of bringing up the Laura situation, the fact that he even brought it up in the first place, is self-sabotage. Because no one was accusing him of this allegation. Besides him, he's the one that brought it to the table in the first place. Now, John ends up, in this video, he ends up making the argument that he's preemptively defending himself from that. But then you look, like, down here, if he's preemptively defending himself, then why is... Okay, let's I really want to atone, and I just want this discussion to stop. I'm not a good person, and it doesn't matter how terrible my life was. And it doesn't matter how terrible my life was. And I did terrible things, and that's the end of it. I don't deserve for people to defend me. This is him defending himself. This is the tone of him defending himself. This sounds like he's gonna shoot a bullet through his head. this And apparently, I'm supposed to read this, and then say, oh yeah, he's defending himself. Yeah, he literally says, I apologized to her privately and recently told her I feel absolutely terrible about it. He's literally taking blame for it. And he's the one who brought it up in the first place. That is literally self-sabotage. That's textbook self-sabotage. He brings up an allegation. He's making an allegation against himself. He says, oh, yeah, I could defend myself, but it doesn't matter. Like, this sounds like he wants, and then you read this part, and it's like, yeah, I think he genuinely wants to just take a knife and just end it there. He's saying, I could defend myself, but I'd give up. That's literally what he's saying here. That's literally what he's saying here. To be honest, I don't think it's guaranteed that it was a suicide note. The only thing that's known, as far as I know, is that he attempted suicide. Yeah. There's nothing confirms that this is or isn't a suicide note. But it's still in contention, and if it is, then I don't see how... Like, if he's not of sound mind when he's giving a confession, it's entirely possible that he admits to stuff that he didn't do. For example, the Laura situation. I just don't see how this is definitive proof that he asked her for the pictures. That's the whole argument. That is literally the argument. If you think so, that's your opinion. But I don't see how that's objective. That's an objective, oh, he asked for them. When your proof is this. This is your proof. Why would we take anything he says at face value over the actual victim's testimony, though? Why are we making excuses for him, bruh? Oh, yeah. Why are you making excuses? Why are you making excuses? Yeah, because I think John's wrong. That's why. I think he's wrong. Yo, it's been 7 minutes and you still haven't shown evidence that Zero solicited. Like, if this is your proof if your proof is this sentence, this confession, so this confession is your proof that he solicited the pictures. Katie, the screenshot you guys were wondering about the Ice Cube thing, it's true. The claims that Katie makes are true in general. There are no graphic pictures of anything of the sort, but it's unforgivable regardless. I want to just be clear about it here. That's your proof. Yeah, something that's vaguely alluding to it. He's not explicitly saying, oh yeah, I asked her for the images of the Ice Cube. Like, he's just saying, oh yeah, this is true. And he's saying, oh yeah, here's another allegation that I'm making against myself. I'm taking the fall for it by saying, oh, but it doesn't matter or make it better, and I apologize to her and how I feel terrible about it. And then says, it doesn't matter how terrible my life was. And then you line that up with Vanessa's testimony. I see that as a possibility. It's possible that this is a suicide note. You guys say it's not. I'm saying that it could be. What was the age gap again? It was 1914. The age gap is significant enough for this to actually be a problem. Yeah, the argument isn't, oh, this is completely invalid. The argument is that this is in contention. And I don't see why using something that's in contention as infallible evidence proving your point is just... Alright.
He defending himself. Zero says that she never told him she was underage. Zero says she told him she was older. Zero says he apologized already. Zero says there were no graphic pictures. And Zero says she was from another country. None of this is an admission. Zero says there were no graphic pictures.
Zero says it doesn't matter nor make it better. Zero says I apologized to her privately and told her how I absolutely feel terrible about it. Zero says, I really want to atone and I just want this discussion to stop. I'm not a good person and it doesn't matter how terrible my life was. I did terrible things and that's the end of it. I don't deserve for people to defend me. Jesus Christ.
And Zero says she was from another country. None of this is an admission of guilt. The closest we have to this is where he says that it doesn't matter nor make it better, which really isn't substantial. To say that this constitutes an admission of guilt is just dishonest.
Zero also admitted guilt to another situation where he was innocent.
So why does Zero defend himself here? Because he's scared more people will try and come after him and ruin his already scarred reputation. When all these individuals are coming out with stories against him, there's a pretty good chance that Laura might do the same thing. Consequently, he jumps in before it happens so that his bases are covered. Remember, it's human nature.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Doesn't mean that's what happened. That doesn't mean it's definitive, objective. This is fact. This is what happened. It's just a possibility. It's plausible. To act like this being a suicide note is completely out of the question. It's impossible. It's not. It really isn't.
To defend yourself on as many things as possible, even when you're backed into a corner.
Why would he bring it up if he wasn't trying to sabotage himself as he claims?
And why would he defend himself in nearly every other section within the same twit longer if he was trying to sabotage himself? Even if you look at this from the franchise...
How do you see this as... remember, this is in context. I need to stress this, I can't stress this enough. He is making the allegation, Zero is making the allegation, the Laura allegation, against himself in this. No one's calling him out, as John says. As John thinks he's preemptively trying to defend himself from this. Just that context alone, in my opinion, makes this self-sabotage. It makes the idea that this is a self-sabotaging suicide note possible. Because the very act of bringing up an allegation, Oh, want to hear a joke? Let me hear it. Yeah, but the very act of bringing up this allegation and saying it doesn't make it better, it doesn't matter nor make it better, and I apologize to her and I feel terrible about it, to me, I see that as self-sabotage. The fact that you would do that at all. And to say, oh, he defended himself to soften the blow. This shouldn't have been a blow to begin with. Does John mention the lawsuit of Zero and G? I forget. I was pushing out, yeah. So that's my take on the suicide note. You don't think it's a suicide note? We do. And that is what puts it in contention. Like as John says. Like as John says, this confession happened. It is evidence. And yes, he is correct. That doesn't make everything in it true, though.
franchise's perspective, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why not just go full nuclear, admit to the images, admit to the Laura stuff, and completely self-destruct? I can tell you why. It's because it wasn't a sabotage attempt, and I can even put forward a completely reasonable order of events to explain why he might have admitted to the Katie stuff.
Why he might have admitted to the Katie stuff.
Many of you might not be aware of this, but Zero actually made a previous response to the allegations.
No, they're 100% aware of this because I put this in my video.
In a Google document, where he outright lies about the Katie drama. In this document, he states that he was completely unaware Katie was underage until she told him, and that obviously made him feel extreme regret, and he felt disgusted.
Okay, this second part about feeling regret and disgusted immediately, that's fair, but this first part, he wasn't aware she was underage until she told me. Like, that's kind of... That's... like, yeah, that's logic, dude.
Immediately. He also said that he didn't know she was underage prior to September the 23rd, in big bold letters by the way. But this was a complete and utter lie. And upon this statement going live, Katie was able to retrieve another screenshot of her conversations with Zero, where it shows he knew her age days before. She then sent this to Jisoo, who included it in her document. At this point, I can imagine he was probably pretty scared that some additional screenshots might be recovered, specifically in relation to the Ice Cube incident. He knows that if Katie manages to recover these incriminating chat messages somehow, it's game over for him. So he admits to what he has to. Even though it's human nature to defend yourself and back into a corner, there is a point where it becomes outrageous, and you just have to take the fall. And I believe that's what Zero did. If you want to believe Zero, you can do that. But I certainly don't. And okay. I think it's perfect.
There. End of story. Let me replay that for you guys, okay?
Fall. And I believe that's what Zero did. If you want to believe Zero, you can do that. But I certainly don't.
There we go. Done. Done. Done, right there. Right there. Agree to disagree. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Jesus Christ. You don't believe Zero, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not against you because you don't believe Zero.
And I think it's perfectly 100% reasonable to doubt his claim that his confession was a sabotage attempt.
Katie was unable to provide any
He just contradicted.
screenshots that could substantiate her claims, so her testimony alone is not hard proof of anything.
Okay, so why does the franchise judge Katie's testimony so harshly while just accepting that Zero's confession was a sabotage attempt because he said so? Is there any other evidence other than his testimony? We know that he did attempt suicide.
I mean, there's also Vanessa's testimony. There's, as you said, as you're about to say now, that he did actually attempt suicide. So, yeah, I'd say that's sufficient enough. And plus, I'm not saying that the Ice Cube incident didn't happen. I'm just saying that using this confession is not, like, it's not whatchamacallit, it's not definitive. It doesn't prove either way whether it happened or it didn't. So I think saying as if, I think speaking as if it has been proven is just dishonest. That's me. There will be no common ground found here. Yeah, there's no hardcore proof. That's why if you want to know why technicals didn't say, oh, he asked for them or he didn't ask for them, he didn't even talk about that in his video, is because there is no definitive proof either way, and he'd rather just not talk about it. He wasn't trying to be dishonest. He just didn't have the proof to prove any other side, so he was just going to say, well, at least we know that he never exchanged the images. Whether he asked for them or not, that can't be proven. But to act like, oh, it has been proven, it's just...
9 months later, the franchise put this in his video, but it's almost certain they're not connected. Why would you post a suicide letter 9 months?
They're not connected. Oh my god, that was the whole point. You say, okay, he's adding the suicide story as emotional blackmail and to give them a sob story and stuff. No, it was to give context as to why he committed suicide, attempted suicide earlier last year. And that they claim it was a relapse. Both Zero and Vanessa claim that. So unless you're telling me both of them are just lying, which, okay, maybe that is possible, I don't think so. Also, Technicals tried to get in contact. Yeah, he tried to get in contact with Katie, but he said all the leads either had him blocked or didn't want to cooperate. So he just said, okay, well, all we know is that he didn't get the images, and that's all we know, or he didn't exchange the images. Whether he asked for them or not, we don't really have definitive proof either way. Sewer slide redacted. Alright.
Before your attempt. I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but there's no mention
No,
of...
you are definitely trying to be insensitive here. Because of, as you put it, prior drama that's unrelated, and I'm getting mad for somebody.
of suicidal thoughts in the Twitmonger at all.
Wait, hold up, what?
Before your attempt. I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but there's no mention of suicidal thoughts in the Twitmonger at all.
What does this say? I really want to atone, and I just want this discussion... I've read this already, but I really want to atone, and I just want this discussion to stop. I'm not a good person, and it doesn't matter how terrible my life was. Who says that? Who said how terrible my life was? I did terrible things, and that's the end of it. Wow, how can you see the dislikes? I have a Google Chrome extension. It's off by like 10 or so. But it's at least it shows a semi-accurate dislike count, but it's not perfectly accurate. So yeah. But yeah, this... I'm not gonna... This isn't definitive, oh, this is a suicide note. Like, this is proof of it being a suicide note, or like, this isn't suicide language. But don't you see it as a possibility? Like... Like, does that make sense to you guys? Am I wrong here? Like, do you not see this as the language that he's using here? Do you not see that as potentially, like, suicidal? Or is it just me? Like, is it just... Like, is it just me? Am I the only one that sees this as kind of a little bit, you know, a little on the edge? Is that just me? Or is this... I don't know. Anyways.
All we have is his testimony to back this up. So why do we trust his word, but not Katie's? Katie has 25 screenshots of her conversation with Zero, a comprehensive Twitlonger detailing everything that happened, and everything she said lines up perfectly. Zero, on the other hand, has nothing more than a shoddy excuse and no evidence to back up his claim.
Testimony alone is not hard proof of anything.
See the double standard here? The franchise refuses to entertain any other perspective but his own, and it
That's ironic. Like, literally, the point was to prove that it's possible that this is a suicide note. The possibility of this being a suicide note. Okay. Wait, let me pull up my actual video. Hold up. How did I say this?
John Swan.
Me just feeling like I pretty much...
After posting fails to mention until the latter half of the video is that Zero actually walked back his confession. Zero claims that the confession was a suicide note meant to sabotage himself and truly intended to take his own life after posting it.
You have also probably heard of a so-called confession from my part. Simply put, this document is nothing more than a suicide letter that I wrote during a tremendous mental breakdown. I had fully planned to take my life right after posting that document because I pretty much lost all faith in that scenario. Seeing so many of my close friends decided to take the situation, throw me under the bus for personal gain, seeing how people were reacting in general, and me just feeling like I could not defend myself properly. Pretty much took the last bit of hope that I had left, and I decided not just to give up, but to sabotage myself on purpose.
Technicals actually covers this in the video, but John chose to twist it by saying Technicals is trying to excuse Zero's behavior by manipulating the audience with a sob story.
Technicals
Is saying is that if the confession is a suicide note, then it can't be used as evidence as it was a forced confession written under extreme mental distress.
Even Zero's confession wouldn't hold up in court because it was made under extreme stress and outside pressure.
Technicals is claiming that Zero was not of sound mind when giving his
I
confession.
like my own videos. Yeah, I love my videos.
So it's entirely possible that he admitted to things that he hadn't done. This is
Yeah, I said it's entirely possible. I never said that he did. Listen. Listen
Under
to
extreme
this.
stress and outside pressure.
Technicals is claiming
Let me slow this down.
that Zero was not of sound mind when giving his confession, so it's entirely possible that he admitted to things that he hadn't done.
You hear that? Entirely possible. It is possible. Let me skip ahead.
The things he did. Conversation to someone who's that young.
What I'm trying to is a culmination of
Around, this conclusion starts to make something.
an emotional immaturity and a lack of genuine and fulfilling relationships.
If you look at Zero's upbringing and the relationships he grew up in and around, this conclusion starts to make some sense.
It starts to make some sense. I'm not speaking in objective terms here. I'm not saying, oh, this is true. I'm taking Zero's word and that I'm not, like he's saying, like what he's trying to say is that, oh, I'm not being charitable to Katie, but I'm being too charitable to Zero. But I never explicitly just say, oh, this is I said this is a possibility. I said, oh, it's let me continue.
And when you consider the fact that Zero's behavior isn't, to our knowledge at the time of this video, a recurring pattern, and it might be fair to say that Zero isn't a current danger to children.
It might be fair to say. I'm not speaking in objective terms when I say this stuff. I'm saying it's possible. Possible. Not proven, not objective fact. Possible. It's also possible that it's not. It's possible both ways. And that's what I said at the beginning of my video.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking. First of all, I do not support Zero, and I believe the average IQ got the free Swan's opinion is the platformed. This video isn't to debunk John Swan's you got the free space on your bingo card.
Alright, so listen to this next part. Listen.
Anyways, the purpose of this video isn't to debunk John Swan's personal opinion that Zero should be deplatformed. This video is simply meant to debunk the idea that John's opinion is the only valid opinion.
Boom. The point's not to take Zero's word that it's a suicide note and run with it. It's to say it's possible. And I use this language in my video. It's not even like I'm backpedaling. I literally say this in my video. Holy moly, dude.
leads to these moments that are increasingly hard to ignore. And we're only 3 minutes into the video.
I also want to point out that this confession was not the first statement he made about Katie. He actually made a statement before this where he also addressed Leffen's allegations, but as you can see here it says, specifically I want to start by taking ownership and apologize to Jisoo, Katie, and Leffen for my actions. Leffen and Jisoo's allegations were not true, but he's taking ownership for them and apologizing. Why am I supposed to take Zero's confession at face value when there's reason to discard it? And he also has a history of admitting to and apologizing for things that he didn't do.
He takes this single paragraph and uses it to say that he apologized for everything in this document, which just isn't true.
Let's pull up this. Hold on, let me pull up this document. Where is it? Is this the link? Yeah, this is it. Alright.
He contests multiple things within this document and does a lot of apologizing for hurting people's feelings instead of for the actions themselves. On top of all of this, he constantly makes excuses for himself, saying he was just a stupid teenager when these events occurred.
Because a lot of these things were also false, but whatever. The fact that he's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that," like he says, I want to take ownership and apologize to Jisoo, Katie, and Leffen for my actions, and that his actions could have caused pain for other people. Remember, these allegations are false. If they were false, he would have just said, "No, these are false. I'm defending myself." Like he defends himself here, but he's still acknowledging whatchamacallit, the showing hentai at the big house, not the big house, at the Sky House. So yeah. if he really was defending himself, he would say these claims are false and defend himself from them. He wouldn't be like, oh, I'm sorry that I potentially hurt these people. He would just say, no, these are false. And yeah.
Dave apologized for some stuff, but it doesn't seem particularly sincere, and to frame this as an unequivocal apology to everything and everyone is just demonstrably untrue.
Oh, and by the way, what he just said about omitting 90% of the twit longer, well, even that is a half-truth, because while it is true that Tech did this, he actually shows screenshots of what those omitted parts are referring to anyways, so that point was ultimately irrelevant.
Come on, man, are you serious? The point is
Yes.
not irrelevant, because he leaves out the majority where Katie...
Oh, you
Ultimately irrelevant.
listen to this impression.
come on, man, are you serious? The point is not irrelevant, because he
Irrelevant.
leaves out the majority where Katie explains how she was affected by this, her thoughts at the time, and any extra insight that she...
Because I don't want to sound insensitive, but a lot of the stuff doesn't matter when it comes to proving what did and didn't happen. How she felt affected by the stuff really has no bearing on whether he asked for the images or not. As insensitive as that sounds, it is true. Like, I really hate to say this, but it's true. So removing this part, because this part doesn't help us find the truth. It just gives us context of how she was effective, but it doesn't help us find the truth. That's why it's omitted.
gay from the twit longer itself. It's completely invalidating her story by not representing it correctly. All we get to see is 5 of the 25 screenshots, completely out of context, flashing on the screen for a grand total of 14 seconds. You're telling me anyone is going to pause and read them?
Yes, that's what you're supposed to do when he presents you with evidence. If he presents you with evidence and you don't read it, that's your fault. If you're so inept at using a computer that you can't pause the video to actually look at the evidence that he's presenting, that's a you problem. Like, did he show the messages? Yes or no? Yes? There. And he dissects the important parts. And even then he still condemns them. He still condemns what he did. He's still saying this is unacceptable. And he says, yes, this is true. Moves on, and then he moves on to discuss the stuff that may or may not be true. Because he's acknowledging, yes, this is true. And he's not going to spend time on this because, in case you didn't already know, this is old news. This happened... How long? It's been like a year and a half since this happened, dude. So it's like, why aren't you covering this in more detail? Because it's already been covered to death at this point. We know what the messages said. Well, we already know what he did. We know what he said. We know the Katie story. We know everything. This has already been discussed. Yeah. John literally says people are too stupid to pause and read, so Tech is hiding this from the audience. No, I saw that, buddy guy. Since he didn't show it with the voiceovers, it didn't happen. Like, I don't read the messages in my videos when I address Zero, mainly because the Katie situations are relevant to my criticisms in those videos. But also because they're so repulsive, I just don't want to, and I don't want to read them. And in one of my videos, I literally linked Katie's story in the description. So I'm literally giving them the evidence. Harley TBS, yeah, I heard of the video. I don't feel like watching videos on this stuff, because after this, I'm done with this drama, and I'm moving on to more important stuff. But yeah, the reason why he's not showing the messages or quote-unquote giving Katie, giving Katie's story, doing her story justice at all, is because a lot of the stuff in that twit longer isn't evidence. It's not proof of anything. It's just, oh, here's my testimony. Here's the evidence that I have, the screenshots. And secondly, we've already discussed this to death. He's not going to, just because you're playing catch up and you're like, oh, I didn't see the messages, but I'm too inept at using a computer to pause the video, and like, dude, just, it's so dumb, dude. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, dude. It's like, I was reading some comments and one person was like, why aren't you guys outraged that he did this stuff? Because it's old news. We were outraged when it came out. And we're just less outraged because we already knew this happened. It's like, imagine if I was like, what? You guys, why aren't you guys angry? American Airlines Flight 11 hit the North Tower. Like, what? You guys think that's okay? You're not gonna do it justice? No, because we did it justice already. No voiceover fanfic of something discussing equal hiding the content. Yeah, like, we already know what happened. And that, okay, maybe that's a poor job on technicals because he's assuming that we know that people coming into this video already know like what's going on and everything. So okay, I'll give you that, I guess. At the same time, like, dude, he showed the messages on screen, and he acknowledged that the messages happened. He acknowledges that he knew her age at the time. He acknowledges that they were completely unacceptable. Like, what else do you want him to do? Shoot Zero? Like, John's incredible at editing. Like, actually. Which is sad, because I wish he could teach me some of his editing tips, but... you know, it is what it is. You guys can't even spell... Is he still going? What's his name? Flacker? Are you still... What are you on about? Like, are you still just malding? Yeah, that's a good point. Nairo technically is still banned because he can't go on the streaming setups for tournaments because of his Twitch ban. But yeah, as I was saying, he showed the messages, he condemned them. Yeah.
He's clearly glossing over all of this for a reason. Don't give me that bullshit. The only reason he included them in there in the first place is to use the same rubbish excuse that you're giving me right now. I included the message, so you can't tell me I'm leaving the
Yeah, he included the messages. I've included the messages. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to... Is there anything else? Anything else you want to tell us? He included the messages. Thank you. Thank you, dude. Because it's like, the reason why... Because it's like, why discuss it further? It's already been discussed to death. So he just quickly recaps it, like, yeah. And then John is saying, oh, this is dishonest because you're not... I can't believe that, yeah, it's just, like, John, did he include the messages, yes or no? Yes. Did he acknowledge that the messages existed, yes or no? Yes. Did he condemn them? Yes. Move on to the other stuff that isn't necessarily confirmed. That's what he's trying to do. He's just saying, yes, this is true, this happened, yes. Move along. If you think he's glossing over it and trying to downplay it, I mean, I guess it's agree to disagree.
Well, bullshit. He knows no one is going to pause and read them. Because if he did read them, everyone would know how utterly repulsive Zero truly is.
You will not rub my belly.
Yeah, why only do that?
Oh my god. This is gonna get this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta give him props. I feel like I want to vomit, which means he did a good job.
I'm honored. You're adorable.
Oh, this is so manipulative, man. Oh my god, man. This is so dumb to admit, because I've seen these DMs before, but it hits a lot harder when it's read like this. Like, I have 2 younger sisters. This girl is the same age as not my youngest sister, but my younger sister. If Zero was talking to her, I would fucking be furious, bro. The context is important, and the length of time they were talking is important. I mean, this guy was setting up a fucking plan that every 2 weeks he would go fucking, like, super horny over.
I bet you more than rub your belly, you baby 14-year-old. You're such a pervert, you want it. Like, that's not just saying she's adorable 1 or 2 times.
He's doing this on his off days. Imagine what he did on the, like, designated horny day.
You'll grow out of it eventually.
You can extract the Ice Cube incident from this and still walk away thinking this guy is a total fucking degen. The Ice Cube story is just, it makes it a million times worse. But even without it, if you want to just forego that story completely, it's still really fucking bad.
Yes.
That was incredible, John. Please explain that to me, Technicals.
Meanwhile, Jean is literally taking information that isn't verifiably true and pushing it as indisputable fact, while I'm supposed to sit here and call Technicals the dishonest one building a narrative.
Just to remind you, when he was 19, Zero groomed a 14-year-old girl for months and pressured her to send him pictures of her performing sex acts. Yeah, dude, he just kind of tripped and fell and groomed a minor for like 3 months and asked her to shove ice up her pussy. And saying that no images were exchanged is just poisoning the well. He asked for them. It doesn't matter if the girl sent them or not. The intent was still there.
Zero never exchanged images with Katie, which is his worst perceived crime to this day.
He asked for them. Doesn't matter if he didn't receive any. The intent was still there. How many times do I have to go over this?
We don't know whether or not Zero asked Katie for the pictures, but
you have me agreeing with Augie. That's when you know you're wrong.
present it in your video as if it was proven true. If that isn't dishonest, then I don't know what is.
Mate, Zero confessed to it. I'm presenting it as fact because as far as I'm concerned, these are the facts. He confessed to the Ice Cube incident. Yes. That is a fact. It is completely non-negotiable. The validity of it is what you're calling into question.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You pointed out the obvious. Thank you. Thank you. Can we get a round of applause in chat? John's a genius. John's a genius. He's big-brained. He's got a brain bigger than the freaking... It's like one of those... He's a savant. He's a savant. Big brain genius. Like you said. Like, thanks for pointing out the obvious, dude.
And even that rests precariously on Zero's word alone.
Testimony alone is not hard proof of anything.
You can bring out your whole bullshit sabotage excuse that doesn't make any sense all you want, but at the end of the day, I don't believe him. And that's reflected.
Okay, fair. You don't believe him. You don't. Okay. And I said that. All I'm saying is that is presenting a possibility. And I said this in the video, and I already showed
it in my video. The next part of the franchise video is honestly so weak. He presents the argument that Technicals wasn't trying to make excuses for Zero, but that he was merely displaying why certain things in his past may have contributed to his behavior, which I think is complete bullshit personally.
John claims throughout his video,
okay, you don't believe it. Some of us do.
But Technicals is trying to downplay Zero's actions to make him seem innocent. What Technicals is trying to do is understand the source of why Zero did the things he did. He doesn't think Zero flirted with Katie because he maliciously seeks out vulnerable children. He thinks it's because Zero was a confused 19-year-old that didn't know what was and wasn't appropriate to say in conversation to someone who's that young. If you look at Zero's upbringing and the relationships he grew up in and around, this conclusion starts to make some sense.
Why does this behavior have to be explained? It's just as deplorable with or without explanation. It makes no difference. The only purpose this
thank you. That is exactly what we're saying. But the behavior is deplorable regardless of the context. What we're trying to say is answer the next question. For example, let me give you an example. How the behavior and the source of the behavior can be two completely different things. Yesterday, Antonio Brown, a wide receiver for the Buccaneers, or at least, I mean, not officially, but he's basically no longer with the team. He had he melted. Let me play the clip. Let me get the clip up. Because I need to demonstrate what I mean here. Antonio Brown. Can I just get the clip of him? So he had this really like crazy meltdown where like he didn't want to get in the game because he said he was hurt or whatever. So he basically just left the team in the middle of the game, during the game. Like, look, the clock is running. He's just, like, running off the field, took his shirt off, threw it in the crowd. He's having a literal, like, breakdown. He's having a literal breakdown on the field. And this was due to getting nailed in the head. He's having but this is funny. What he's doing, the actual, like, act of him breaking down, what he's doing right now, is hilarious. But the actual reason for why he's doing it is not funny in the slightest. It's something that should be taken seriously. But his actual actions of what he's doing is hilarious. Like, if he was just on drugs or something and doing this, it would be funny. But the actual source of why he's doing it is not. Those are two different things. So, comparing this to Zero, yes, what he did is completely deplorable. Why he did it is why I don't think he's a current danger to children when you remove him from our community and he just wants to create content on his own. I don't see that as him being a threat. Because I think what he did is repulsive, but I think people can change. And considering that this isn't a pattern of behavior, to our knowledge at least, again, I don't think... Yeah.
serves is to give Zero the best chance of gaining sympathy from the audience. If you preface and follow up serious allegations like this with a load of unrelated fluff about how hard Zero's childhood was, it certainly comes across as an excuse, because these actions are the same with or without this section. All it gives the audience is another avenue to excuse his behavior.
Do I condone the conversations that took place? No, and I hope I've made that very clear.
But come on, let's not beat around the bush here. He did not make this clear, like, at all.
Didn't make it clear?
That part implies that Tech is okay with the messages. When he says, "Oh, you didn't make it clear that you condone the messages," that's implying that he condones the messages, or at least to a certain extent does.
Messages we were provided, it's very clear that Zero is being flirtatious, and according to the dates, he knew her age at the time. I'm not going to read them, but these messages on screen are 100% unacceptable, and he'll be the first to tell you that.
I literally put this in my video, so I don't know why this is being used as some gotcha moment, but saying
It's not being used as a gotcha moment.
or two times that the conversations were unacceptable is downplaying the severity of the messages in question. Please read them again and come back to me, because they are way, way more than just unacceptable.
He's condemning them. By saying that they're unacceptable, that's condemning them. What world is saying that they're unacceptable is condoning the behavior and not making it clear? Oh yeah, they're unacceptable. Oh no, you didn't condemn them properly. You were supposed to say that he should be pistol whipped in the mouth and lose both of his teeth and then sent down a sewer slide. I did. Oh my god. It's like, we need John Swan to respond to this stream so we can have a response to a response to a yeah, like literally, he said they're unacceptable, and you're saying, oh well, he didn't condemn them hard enough. Like, oh, he didn't condemn them. Yes, he did. Well, he didn't do it hard enough. He literally said they're unacceptable and that he doesn't condone the messages. Like, John, come on, John. You gotta do better than that.
Granting the arguments Tech gives as excuses meant to hold Zero to a different standard than everyone else, he's able to repackage Tech's video in a way that makes it sound completely ludicrous. We saw how he did this with Zero's suicide note, but then there are times where he straight up lies in order to make his points. I'll first play John Swan's retelling, then play the original video to see if you can spot the difference.
Tech spends the next 6 minutes discussing Nairo. This section also serves another purpose, and that is to make Zero's case more palatable. Because the Smash community welcomed Nairo back without much reservation, he implies that Zero should also return, because what he did was apparently not as bad.
Allegedly, some people think you fucked a kid. What other inspiration would you need to plaster this to every corner of the internet? I'm just saying, if I was a Smash figurehead, which I am, I would just keep someone banned if they don't want to publicly prove they're innocent. This is a gaming community. This is not a behind closed doors legal issue. This is a would parents look at this and approve issue. Fucking idiots, it's not complicated.
Well, those two clips certainly paint completely different pictures.
The franchise seems to completely miss the point here because I play the clip that I'm referring to just before I start speaking, but he completely leaves it out.
This may be a little personal, but I like Zero, and if he decides to continue making content, I can't think of a single reason not to. If you just thought to yourself, wow, that's a pretty risky and controversial opinion, Technicals, then I'd argue that this opinion is 1,000 times less controversial than what a majority of the Smash community already openly accepts.
Your head has to be full of rocks if you don't understand what...
My head has to be full of rocks. But I'm the one arguing in bad faith. Okay.
The implication is there. Tech says that he likes Zero and that he believes he should be allowed to create content.
Yes.
And his reasoning is that Zero's case is far tamer than what the Smash community has already accepted. So why not just let Zero back in too?
That's not what he said, though.
It's clearly the implication.
No, that's clearly not. This is literally just agree to disagree at this point. Because when you explicitly say, I would just leave somebody banned if I think they should, if they don't want to prove their innocence, that's clearly wanting that person to be banned. Whatever, this is agree to disagree. I'm full of rocks. I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I am Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I am The Rock. I am literally The Rock. Hold on. Let me boost my ego. I am Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Alright. What is this discussion going on in the... What are you guys talking about? I want to see the entire commentary community lose their mind and screech at you because it would make the best internet history montage ever. Yeah.
I don't know how the franchise missed it. Here's another clip with the same implication.
At least I know for sure what Zero did and didn't do. Can't say the same for Nairo.
He then says that I reframed it in a way that makes it sound like Technicals wants Zero to be unbanned.
Tech would also go on to make a video titled Ban Nairo. It is clear that Tech's argument...
That's it. That's it. He made a video called Ban Nairo, which came out before John's video, by the way. So...
is that Nairo should be banned as well, yet John reframes this in a way that makes it sound like Tech wants Zero...
apparently clarifying your argument, according to these guys, is backpedaling.
to be unbanned. Let's just use our
But he
brains.
never actually made the argument that Zero should be let back into the community. He said he should go back to making content. Oh, is there a problem there? Let me just quickly, let me just post my Twitter in the chat for now until I can change it. Alright. Did you read Augie's tweets? What's Augie tweeting? Like, I really don't pay attention to these guys anymore. Like, I used to really respect these guys. Like, when Augie got his channel demonetized by Suzy Liu. Essentially, like, I actually felt bad. But now it's just... like, obviously, I still feel bad to an extent, but, like, Jesus Christ. All he's tweeting is just him being sick. Alright, let's continue.
Few seconds. Which seems more likely? A, Tech wants two potential predators back in the community, or B, Tech wants them both banned.
I have never made this argument ever.
I'm not because I wasn't responding to your argument. I was making an argument of my own. I was asking a question for the viewer to say, okay, which do you think is more which do you think is more likely? Not everything's about you, you freaking narcissist.
Where he's pulling this from. And Tech never made the argument either, hence why I didn't respond to any points about it. In fact, the franchise includes a clip about this in his video. The lack of self-awareness is astonishing.
First off, just to clarify, when I say welcome back Zero, I mean welcome back to uploading content, not to Smash events. Despite me never making that argument, I think it's worth clearing up.
Why would I respond to a point that Technicals never made? Throughout the video, I'm only addressing the hashtag welcome back Zero movement and stating that I believe Zero should not be allowed to create content for children again. When did I say anything about Smash tournaments? Please link that section to me.
Yeah, the point is that, here's the thing. I don't consider, like, for example, Armada still makes content, but I don't necessarily consider him part of the greater Smash community because he's not involved with stuff anymore. He's not involved. That's what I consider being part of the community. You're involved with other people in the community. Zero wants to just be left alone and just isolated and do what he wants to do and just be by himself, away from us. I don't consider that being part of the community. I consider being allowed to go to tournaments, engage with others. I consider that being part of the community. I don't consider making content being part of the community. Yeah. It's just... look, he says we're painting him in the worst light. We're saying that he's putting us in the worst light. This is what I mean. It's just agree to disagree. That's all this should have been. But Nick Diorio had to blow this out of proportion. Augie had to spurg out on Drama Alert, and John Swan had to make this video, so... again. And I was originally a passive observer to all this. Like, I was originally just a passive observer. Like, I was just, I watched the debate, between Technicals and Augie. I reviewed this video when it, after it came out. Not on live stream, and then I made my video. When we talk in John Swan boxing ring or sewer slide. Yeah, are you joining Crow's video later on? We'll see. I might actually do that. But it depends. Oh, we're almost done. We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end. But yeah. This should have just been agree to disagree. I was kind of just a passive observer to all this. Then John made his video, and it was just kind of, yeah. I didn't respond to John's video initially, by the way, because I was busy working on my Leffen doc. But, you know, once I finished, then I actually addressed this, and yeah.
See it.
Now we get to the brother argument, which is probably the dumbest argument because it falls apart with even a smidgen of common sense. Now that John has established that Tech is defending and making excuses for Zero, he now tries to go to the root of his motivations.
If Tech had to come out and wholeheartedly condemn Zero, he would have had to condemn his brother as well.
But he condemned his brother, both privately and publicly.
Yeah, dude, he condemned him so hard that he promoted his channel, worked with him on videos, and took him to VidCon, where he networked with some of the biggest creators in commentary. That's a wholehearted condemnation if I'd ever seen one.
Told him it was stupid, never to
What
do
is
it
he
again.
supposed to do? Just, like, throw him in a trash can? Like, Jesus Christ. What do you want? Actually, he talks. No.
And guess what? He didn't do it again.
Hey, it's John from the future here. This isn't even true. If we look back in the screenshots that were provided with the tweet longer, we can see that the first time BJ did this was the 24th of December, 2016. And then he did it again on February the 18th, 2017. So he did do it again. That's just a complete and utter lie from Technicals.
Imagine calling someone a liar while lying
Actually,
yourself.
this is the one point that was half decent that John made. And even then, it's eh.
Here are the messages Tech showed when he claimed he condemned his brother and told him to stop.
Okay, this is just downright dishonest. These messages he's showing on screen were only made public by Technicals after the release of my video. How can I talk about them or address them in any way if no one had access to them?
That would be a fair point. Except you could have just messaged Technicals before making this video. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, like, it's his brother. Like, I could kind of understand where he's coming from with the Zero and saying that he should condemn him harder, but it's his brother. Like, you have to, like, obviously you condemn him, you don't condone the behavior that happened, but it's also his brother. You can't just abandon him and just, like, shoot him in the neck and just throw him in a garbage can and send him floating down a river. Like, you can't do that. Like, why would he? Like, come on, dude.
And on top of that, even if I did, it actually further implicates Technicals.
As you can see, they are dated after February 18th, so unless you can show me proof that his brother continued after March 28th, 2017, then Technicals is indeed telling the truth.
This is insane. I can't believe you recorded this, edited it, and thought it was good. Are you
Yes.
telling me that Technicals only disavowed his brother 1.5 months after the second time where he sent his dick into a chat with minors? He just...
Yeah, because according to Technicals, a lot of the stuff happened in chats that he wasn't a part of and he didn't know about. So how could he condemn the behavior if he didn't know it was going on? He condemned the behavior when he knew it was going on. In the chats that he was actually a part of. They also had separate chats themselves. They DM'd each other this stuff because it was a running joke. They did it. He didn't condone it, so they did it where he wasn't. Jesus Christ.
let him do it the first time, just gave him a pass and didn't say anything? Are you serious? That literally makes it so much worse. Tech's brother sent his dick in December, and then he sent it in February. That is him doing it again. Where's the lie, mate?
The bottom line is that if Technicals condemned his brother, which he did, why would he have trouble condemning Zero? In fact, as proven in the prior section, he did condemn Zero several times throughout the video.
Okay, let's play these wholehearted condemnations then.
These messages on screen are 100%.
Get ready. Get ready. He's about to say that saying that these are unacceptable. That saying that the messages are unacceptable isn't a good enough condemnation. Get ready.
Unacceptable. Do I condone the conversations that took place? No. This may be a little personal, but I like Zero. If he decides to continue making content, I can't think of a single reason not to. Welcome back, Zero.
John asserts that Tech is excusing and downplaying Zero's behavior in an attempt to defend him. He backs up his claims with faulty evidence and repackages Technical's arguments such as his
Black Yo franchise, would you like to debate? Is he the frickin'... What, are you the guy that was like tweeting? You were like, hey, franchise, I saw your terrible video. Is that you? Hold on, let me find you. Let me find this. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, it is. Alright. Alright. This guy, what's his name? Black Diamond Apple. Says, hey, franchise, I've watched about half of your terrible video. I was wondering if you'd like to have a debate with us about this and the Zero situation. We have also made 2 videos on Technicals, and we just so happen to think similarly to John Swan. Island let's see. Do you guys have a YouTube channel? Oh, yes, you do. Alright, let me...
Hello, we're Black.
Alright, dude. Listen. I appreciate the offer. I truly do. I truly appreciate the debate offer. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decline, guys. I'm gonna have to decline. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just not down. I'm just not up to it. Disney will copy strike this video. They didn't do it. They didn't copy strike it. They didn't copy strike it. Bro. Alright. Back to the video.
Arguments against Nairo. John also claims that Tech didn't condemn his brother's behavior in the group chats despite there being hard evidence to the contrary. John then makes the argument that Tech can't condemn Zero because he would have to condemn his brother as well, despite the fact that Tech did both. This line of logic is a fallacy known as presupposing a frame.
Why does it matter who I debate with this? Because I don't care about this drama anymore. I'm just responding to this video and then I'm burying the hatchet. Like, if Tech wants to drag this on with his own video, that's up to him. I'm done with this because I have more important matters to deal with. Specifically, my next video, which you guys will actually like, John Swan fans, because we have something in common with this next video. So yeah.
What John does is he assumes we've agreed to his first 2 points, and if that's the case, then the last point that Tech can't condemn Zero would actually make sense. But if we dig deeper into the root of the issue to find that his assertions are based on broken evidence and lies, we realize that this whole argument collapses.
I said in my video that if Tech had to wholeheartedly condemn Zero, he would have to condemn his brother as well. It's important to mention that I said wholeheartedly condemn. Now,
yeah, he has to wholeheart. See, this is what I mean. Why does Tech using the extreme parameters for a pedophile, which he really didn't? He said pedophiles like kids. Really, that was his argument. And he was saying, I don't think Zero likes kids. That was his argument. And that's extreme parameters. But apparently saying what he did is unacceptable. That's not wholeheartedly condemning.
I'm no authority on what Technicals does in his home life, and neither are you. His relationship with his brother has nothing to do with his YouTube channel. But as a public figure, wholeheartedly condemning someone isn't just calling something
100% unacceptable
and moving on as normal. It means cutting ties, disavowing their behavior completely, and removing that person from your online presence going forward. Technicals did not wholeheartedly condemn Zero or his brother, considering he promoted both heavily and welcomed Zero back into the community.
Yeah, I'm gonna use your own argument against you. So, Tech, whatchamacallit, used extremely strict parameters for calling him a pedophile, for defining a pedophile, and that's fine. He used extremely strict parameters for what a pedophile is, and somehow that's not being charitable to Katie because just because he doesn't fit the extreme qualifiers doesn't mean that he's not a pedophile. But you saying, oh, he has to shoot him in the neck and have him get hit by a train and then stomped on in the mud, thrown into a river, sent down the river, all the way into a burning volcano. Like, dude, relax. Take a deep breath. Did he disavow what was done? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Maybe this is my fault for not making this clear enough in the video, but considering I included clips of Technicals condemning his brother and Zero, I think it would have been pretty clear to everyone watching that I did not believe those expressions of disapproval to be in any way substantial.
Okay, you don't think so. The rest of the world does.
Franchise looks at Technical's statements and thinks that they are enough to satisfy a wholehearted condemnation. I do not.
Okay.
And I think it's perfectly reasonable for people to say that what Technicals did was not enough. As a result, my argument does not collapse and
Wait. I disagree, so my argument doesn't collapse. Yeah, the whole basis of my argument, it's in contention right now, but because I have a certain opinion, then it's true.
Presupposing a frame doesn't even apply. Good attempt though. The last part of the franchise's video focuses on character attacks and bringing up all—
Okay, let me play the full context, because he doesn't do it here. He literally doesn't do it. This is what he's referring to.
Throughout Technical's time of creating investigations into Smash, I believe that he's done some genuinely great work. Some people have unreasonably had their reputations completely ruined and deserve a second chance. Technicals was able to vindicate these people, and with that, he achieved a certain level of credibility within the space.
John's
That's what I was responding to when I bring up. Okay, let me finish this clip.
Unrelated drama as gotcha moments. He says that I have no integrity and that my video is based on broken evidence. On top of all of this, he even brought up one situation from over a year ago where the person in question has been cool with me for quite some time. In fact, this person has stated on multiple occasions that they no longer wish for the drama to be brought up anymore, and that it actually makes them pretty distressed when people talk about it. To use this person as a pawn to try and get a quick gotcha on me is pretty low, especially considering
I was doing it because you talked about Technical's credibility. And I'm saying I don't think you should do that because I think that makes you a hypocrite for doing that. That's why I brought it up. Because I don't think you should be talking about another person's credibility and being able to take their videos at face value. Because that would just make you a hypocrite, dude. That's why I brought it up. Not to just attack you because I don't like you and I want to get a gotcha moment. No, I'm doing this because I think you're a hypocrite for doing this, for saying that part. That's why I brought it up.
Were made ages ago. In fact, I think the franchise should actually take Technical's advice on this one. It's funny too, because what he did is infinitely worse than whatever Dream did. Oh.
What he did to Pie Man.
The thing he apologized for? That's wild. Apologized? He showed multiple times that he's not really sorry either. I mean, the person you're actually talking about vouched for John. You're being mad for someone who isn't mad. Mate, why are you mad for someone who isn't mad?
I'm not. I'm just bringing up the fact that you are a hypocrite. That's all I'm doing.
These desperate attempts to try and assassinate my character is really...
Nobody assassinated your character except you. Your actions are what caused those situations. I'm just bringing it up because I think you're a hypocrite for bringing up Technical's credibility. Nobody, you did the Dream drama, you did that to yourself. The Pie Man drama, you did that to yourself. Don't act like I'm trying to slander you or break your or destroy your character or whatever, your credibility. You did that to yourself. Is it that big of a deal anymore? No. Does that still mean you're not a hypocrite for bringing up Technical's credibility? Like, what? Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Telling. And it's incredibly bad faith when you're trying to systematically dissect a video.
It's bad faith. Bad faith. Bad faith, dude. Jesus Christ. Just agree to disagree at this point, dude. Just agree to disagree. Alright, you think one thing, because I know my next video, you will, as you say, wholeheartedly agree with me. My next video that I'm putting out, you will agree with me. You'll think it's a great video. And that's it. That's that. Because we agree on it. We actually agree on the topic that I'm talking about. But here, we just agree to disagree. I don't see why you had to... whatchamacallit? I don't see why you had to make this video when you could have just talked to Technicals in the first place.
Fine. But you know what? Since you went there, how about we talk about the credibility of Technicals and the group chat he ran?
This is in regards to the Twitlonger...
Yo, it's me! It's me! Yo, it's me! It's me! Bro, he put me in the video. This is my face reveal, guys. He doxed me. He showed my face. It's me. It's me.
In this group chat,
that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Right?
People from 13 years old to my age, 19 at the time. Conversations would often delve into like adult topics, and they would share nudes of themselves and lewd pictures amongst themselves. And sometimes in the chat that I was in.
I was in the group chat. I was in every group chat because I was the leader.
All right, so yeah, meh. Alright, what'd you guys think? What did you guys think of that? Like, I feel like I'm not trying to say, like, yeah, it's agree to disagree. That's the whole drama at the end of the day. They believe he is one thing. We believe he's not, because we don't think that the evidence against him is in the certain areas that matter are substantial enough. It's just like, dude. Like, what even are, like, do I just not know what a gotcha is? Let me look up. Like, when I saw this video, I was like, this is mid. Because he does a good job at defending his position, but he doesn't do anything to discredit ours. That's why I think it was mid. Like, it's not a bad video. I don't think it's awful. I just think it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, it's... I just don't think it... What even is a gotcha moment? Am I just wrong about what it is? Okay, an unexpected, usually disconcerting challenge, revelation, or catch. Also, an attempt to embarrass, expose, or disgrace someone with a gotcha. Like, what even is... Am I just wrong? Do I just not know what a gotcha is? Because I never considered anything that I do really a gotcha moment. Because everything is like... Because everything all the evidence I show is publicly available, or all the things that I present are publicly available. They're known information. It's not like I'm digging up like some convoluted stuff from like 8 years ago to expose you and say, haha, I gotcha here, or debate you. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just being upfront. Dude, that's it. Like, Willie Mac show. Like, why do you think I don't go after Willie Mac show? Why do you think I don't go on my streams and say, oh, Willie Mac show sucks? I don't do that because I actually respect Willie Mac show. I don't do that with Cordwit either because I genuinely think they are good people and I respect them. They may disagree with me, but I can respect disagreement. Come on, bro, don't be a soy boy, debate us. A soy boy. We'll be nice to you. I mean, you said my video was terrible, so I don't know if you'll be nice. Yeah, I seem a little rough, you know, or a little rough on the edges. Imagine using soy boy unironically. No, like, actually, funny story, I was actually gonna title evidence.drip Toodaloo soy boy. But then I changed it because it was a dumb name. I was trying to come up with the most cringe title that possible, but you know, debate us while you care, but I don't. I just wanted to respond to this video. Your video was great. Okay, dude. Alright. But, anyways, now time for the final verdict. This is your stat line, John Swan. You know, it was a pretty quiet night, I would say, for the Swan. 2 assists, you know, he was dropping some dimes. 1 rebound is pretty nice, but dude, 0 points. My God, guys, he had 0 points. He went 0 of 27. He had 27 whole shots here. Look at this, 27. 27 shots. Look how many. Look at this. Look at this right here. 27 shots. He missed all of them. You had no points. I even fouled you when I said you lied about technicals, and you missed both free throws. You missed both of them. Both free throws. Both of them. 0 of 27 from the field. 6 fouls, because obviously he fouled out. He's a bird. He's a bird. Of course he fouled out. Like, what did you expect? What did you expect? Yeah, he could do mental gymnastics. He's got hops, that's why he's got the boards. Will you debate John Swan? I mean, here's why I don't want to debate people. Because it'll just turn into what just happened here. We're just gonna rehash all of our arguments that we already made, and we're just gonna go in circles. It's not gonna be productive. Like, It's literally just gonna end in agree to disagree. I believe we're not gonna be able to change each other's minds. And we're not gonna be able to change your minds either. Black Diamond Apple, you're going to believe what you believe, I believe what I believe. I'm not gonna waste my breath on this. Because I have more important things to care about than someone who is banned from our community being a danger to us when he's banned. But yeah. Not a very good night from the field. You really had no points, dude. No points. This is like that PJ Tucker stat line. Hold up, PJ Tucker final stat line. Where is it? Points. I can't find it. Yeah, let me actually post this. He had no points. I had him on clamps. The defense was too much. The D was too much for him. I had him locked up. He was locked up. Birds can fly. I mean, he got a rebound. He flew up for that rebound. He had no points, dude. No points. 0 of 27 from the field. He fouled out. How are you gonna foul out before you score a basket? Yeah, I had him on clamps. This dude, he was chained to a wall. He couldn't move. I stole the ball from him like 8 times. He had the ball stolen. So the maid guy arguing with this Chad is dating a minor is potentially homophobic? What? That's what you guys were talking about? That's what... Wait. What? Jesus Christ. What is... Man. Anyways, I might be on, Crows of Judgment later. But, yeah. Yeah, his shots broke. His shots broke. Okay, why are you guys... What are you guys discussing? 1917, 14 as a child limit? What are you guys saying? What is going on? Oh my god. Can I just... Is it possible that I could, like, ban people? You stressed out or anything, franchise? Nah. Gotta go. Have a good night, franchise. Make sure to not defend pedophiles on your way home. Oh, believe me, I haven't done that at all. Alright, buddy. We can have a discussion anytime you want, even in private. Dude, this is... Like, what? Where's the benefit? What is the benefit of me going onto that guy's channel, dude? Like, honestly. Because it's like, he has like 2 subs. If I go on there, that's beneficial to him. That doesn't benefit me in any way. Well, I'll just other than give me a headache, because I'll just go in circles trying to pound my head against the wall, because they disagree, and I'm not going to change their mind. I haven't done anything to change their mind so far. You should get a chat mod. I mean, I don't want to just, like, I don't want to just, what you call it? Wait, there's a twit longer about the new information talking. Yo, Luna guys, can you post that in the chat? Link that to me. Should have said, I thought I made that obvious, dude. I literally showed your channel on stream. I thought it would be obvious. Let me actually change my Twitter in my bio. Yeah, it's linked to the wrong thing. Hold up. Hold up. Alright. So for the guy that was like, my Twitter link is wrong, I'm gonna... It should be fixed now. Let me see. Yep. It is. Why is Zaptai okay, but 0 not? I don't know anything about the, I don't know anything about the Zaptai situation, which is why I don't bring it up. Because I'm not an authority to speak on something like that, because I know nothing about it. From what I've heard, it's the way that it's being presented is that I heard like the girl catfished Zaptai, but she was still like, even then, like what she was posing as was still really young, like 16 or 17. That's what I've heard. I don't want to speak about it because I don't know what I'm talking about. Which is why I don't bring it up as a talking point, because listen, the only thing that matters here is 0. I don't care about Tech's brother. I don't care about Zaptai. I don't care about Technicals and his group chats. I really don't care. Because what really matters here is just what 0 did and didn't do. Even if franchise wanted to debate you, he's not going to debate someone with a mic like that. So yeah, let me just give my final thoughts before just give my final thoughts and everything. What 0 did, regardless of whether the Ice Cube thing happened or not, even if you remove that allegation, what he did is completely unacceptable, completely repulsive, and he should be banned from the community. With that said, I do not believe that he is a current threat to children. I don't see what he did as a recurring pattern of behavior that proves that he's some, malicious person that seeks out children. But this is just my opinion. And if he wants to, if YouTube's not going to ban him, if he wants to continue making content, separate, far away from the community, I'm not gonna take issue with that. That's really just up to him. I'm more so happy that he's not dead because he did attempt to sewer slide. Um, but yeah, I really don't. I really don't think this is what we should be emphasizing. But Nick Diorio had a. Nick Diorio needs to find a treadmill, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, we should really be discussing Leffen and Jisoo, and I really didn't really agree with the direction text video went when it came to addressing the Zero stuff. Like, I always, in my videos, whenever I address Zero, I'm always addressing it through the lens of Leffen and Jisoo lied and not defending Zero. That's always how I've handled the situation. Oh, is that Josh Giddey? Yeah, you get the joke because they're both Australian. He needs to eat a salad. Yeah, I think we should ban Zero from events. Morally, he shouldn't be banned from tournaments. The reason why he's not a current danger to children, but he should still be banned from tournaments is because he's already caused damage to somebody. Look at Katie's Twitlonger. Look at Katie's story. The amount of damage he's done in the community in it is ban-worthy. I think you lose certain privileges even if you evolve and you grow from a situation. I think he's lost the privilege to be a part of our community. But if he wants to stay out of our business, do what he wants to do, I'm not going to stop him. That's that. That's the deal. And anybody who says, like, Jisoo or Slime or whatever that thinks Zero should die, or alludes to it, I think that's infinitely worse than... I think that, I'm gonna just say, I think wanting him to die is infinitely worse than the messages he sent. Does anyone have Katie's social? No, Katie's 100% anonymous. That's what makes this hard. She's anonymous, and she spoke to Jisoo before giving her allegations, so there's the possibility that she twisted things like the Ice Cube situation. Dude, I don't care. Jesus Christ, dude. Exactly, he doesn't deserve death. At least we can agree on that. You want to just agree to disagree, dude? We agree he shouldn't die. Oh, you're going to bed? Shagam ass, see you, dude. Yeah, just agree to disagree at this point. Because I already basically know what your perspective is. You say, oh, he confessed to it. There's no definitive proof that he didn't ask her, and we don't. And a lot of people, like, even Bo Blacks. Do I go after Bo Blacks publicly like this? No, I don't. I've gone after Nick. I've gone after Augie. I've gone after John. But I don't go after Bo Black's cord winner Willie. Why? Because I respect them. I actually respect them. Yeah. It's like, why do you want to... Let me ask you this, Black Diamond Apple. Why do you want to debate me so bad? Tell me, why do you want to debate me so bad? Is it to actually portray your honest opinion, or is it to just try to own me and display dominance? Because if it's the latter, then you're not arguing in good faith. That guy who said letter is us. Oh, that guy. The guy who's like, Leffen is awesome and 1,000 nerds can die. That's the funniest. That was actually funny. That has to be parody. There's no way someone unironically like meant that word for word. Yeah, I think this was a good stream. Was able to get off his chest. Boblax is neutral content-wise, but of course he's phantom siding with his friends. I mean, yeah, but at least he's not being an idiot just going after people willy-nilly. He's just gonna remain out of things. I think corruption is the biggest thing in the Smash community. Get ready for my next video. So yeah, I'm done talking about Zero after this. Unless something drastic happens, like Katie reveals herself, or like, the frickin', some new evidence comes out. I'm not gonna speak on it. Ooh, Crow's just came on. Alright guys, so Katie could be Jisoo? No, that's not possible. Because Zero's whole defense is that he did talk to Katie. So that's not even possible. And stream with playing evidence.drip? Aw, man. Alright, boys. Westfalls didn't play this on his stream.
Call the train. I'm gonna help you. I'm helping. And then I'm gonna call the train.
Yo, listen, I'm making this quick. Thinking about Leffen is making me sick. Conspired with Jesus, you sound like a sin. You read the role and you still couldn't hit. Damn. This is as bad as it gets. Add to the list of the crimes you commit. They call me Zane cause I'm nice with the stick. You're getting dropped called Genesis 6. You listen up cause I'm making this quick. Thinking about Leffen is making me sick. Conspired with Jesus, you sound like a sim. You read the role and you still couldn't hit. Come on! This is as bad as it gets. Add to the list of the crimes you commit. They call me Zane cause I'm nice with the stick. You're getting dropped called Genesis 6. Leffen ain't nothing I'm saying is new, so why are you acting surprised? Bro, ain't nobody mad that you made fun of Rocky. We're mad at the fact that you lied. You lied about Hungrybox, Sandbox, and Zero, man, there ain't nowhere you can hide. But when you got confronted about everything that you did, you disabled replies. You have an ego that's bigger than K-Rool, man, you need to lower your pride. You're firing shots and trying to be petty, well I got the tech on my side. I say strapped with a tech on my side, when I pull up I hop off the ledge with the lasers. But you gon' ignore me cause you try to block us like Miles Turner on the Pacers. Duck when I aim, now your crouch cancel. Taking the hits but you won't answer. Dodging the questions you dashed answer. We'll never stand for this brash slander. The yes men are riding your dick, put a saddle on, and the gold diggers be grabbing on. Let off the slug, I hit you with the gastrodon, turn you to ashes like battle bomb. They say you're the hero, but you're at a MP. Kamikaze, you SD. My bars are fire like road when you press B, so you don't wanna test me. I'm always getting the bread, I got plenty. Man, your pockets look empty. I'm in the back of your head living rent free. I'm destroying you mentally. I put a hole in your fox, now you're looking like roadkill. Your channel dying like Bodil. You ain't a god, you're a coward with no chill. And you're as slimy as oatmeal. All that you've done is beyond reprehensible. The damage you've done is irreparable. Crying on Reddit, complaining about technicals, when nothing you're doing is ethical. The God Slayer with a God complex hacks at you begging for pity. Think the community likes you when they say they need you. They're talking about Johnny and Wizzy. Playing the victim is honestly silly. Criticize left and he's not even listening. Acting oppressed where you gotta be kidding. You're punching down on Kensu, I'm punching up like Ryu. I helped teach beginners when you exploited me too. But all them allegations, they were just a mistake. I just trusted Jisoo, guys, I'll tell you how her tits taste. Listen up, I'm making this quick. Thinking about Leffen is making me sick. Conspired with Jisoo, you sound like a sim. You read the role and you still couldn't hit. Damn. This is as bad as it gets. Add to the list of the crimes you commit. They call me Zane cause I'm nice with the stick. You're getting drop call at Genesis 6. You listen up cause I'm making this quick. Thinking about Leffen is making me sick. Inspired with Jisoo, you sound like a sim. You read the role and you still couldn't hit. Come on! This is as bad as it gets. Add to the list of the crimes you commit. They call me Zane cause I'm nice with the stick. You're getting drop call at Genesis 6. This song